is Jesse Hernandez. I'm gonna be I'm sorry about that. Hold on. I'm gonna be a volunteer, and for those who need it, this event will be translated into English or Spanish simultaneously. So if you need it, just go to the options in your menu of Zoom and you will see the interpretation option. So while I'm speaking in English, you can listen it also in Spanish and vice versa. Today, on behalf of this big and beautiful team, we sincerely appreciate the presence of the civil society, organizations, government and non-governmental agencies, and all the community of Venezuelan immigrants that are present in this event. This is our month anniversary, so we are really happy to have you in all these activities that we have been organizing during these weeks. So we wanted to create this space in terms of put everyone together in this meeting, organizations, migrants, and people who is really interested, our allies, in order to exchange testimonies and experiences. So that's why we are here tonight. This is going to create a valuable information, and this is also going to create the space to respond better to our needs, the needs of our community. So if you are in need of something, or there is a lack of something, this is going to be the space to see everything and to get all this information, as I said before, in order to control and not to control, to make a report that probably is gonna be really helpful for not only us as an organization, but also the rest of the organizations and the institutions that are working with migrants. So thank you very much again. I'm really happy to introduce right now to our presenter is Cristina. So Chordia, I don't know if I said it well, but she will be taking the event right now. So thank you very much, Cristina, for your presence here, and it's your turn.
No te escuchas, Cristina.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Perfect, thank you so much, Niurka. Hi, everybody. My name is Cristina Ciordia, so close enough. Story of my life, Jesse, don't worry. It's a pleasure to share this space with you today. We're truly grateful to have you all here. I work for a Venezuelan NGO called Center for Justice and Peace, and I'm the coordinator of REDAC Internacional. This is a network of Venezuelan human rights defenders and activists that VIA is a part of. That's how I got the privilege to speak to you today and collaborate in the work that VIA does. Because, well, that's what a network is all about, right? Strengthening each other's work, reaching out, and VIA's is definitely a work that deserves praise and strengthening. But before we talk numbers, which we will in a minute, numbers that illustrate the needs of the community that VIA is currently serving, I would like us to talk purpose, or to listen about purpose, and to get to know what the wonderful work that VIA is doing from the words of the people that collaborate with it, that have been touched by it. And I promise you, it will be much more memorable than a bunch of numbers usually are. So enjoy for a few minutes.
And it's an organization that I think has been great to watch it grow over the last several years. It's been amazing to see what you two have been able to organize in terms of helping your community.
VIA is a very special organization because it was started by my student who became my friend.
VIA, I've been very surprised at how it was created spontaneously. It just grew up organically with a lot of work from Hector and Luca.
¿Por qué formamos VIA? Bueno, primero por solidaridad con nuestros connacionales. Y segundo, por la necesidad de llenar ese vacío de información que nosotros encontramos cuando llegamos. Ese que tenía que ver con la diferencia entre un buscador de asilo y un refugiado. Pero también nace de la empatía y de la solidaridad, de sentirnos cerca de nuestra patria, de nuestra Venezuela, sabiendo que prestábamos ayuda a nuestros connacionales para hacer más fácil, más llevadero su proceso de adaptación.
Mi nombre es Guillermo Olivos, soy un abogado venezolano radicado en la ciudad de Nueva York. Tengo 14 años en la práctica de Derecho Migratorio y he estado colaborando con VIA en los últimos 3-4 años. Gracias a VIA yo he podido colaborar brindando información vital, importante a personas que han llegado a este país, a venezolanos que han llegado a este país en busca de una segunda oportunidad. He sabido de casos de personas que luego de oír las charlas que VIA organiza, han logrado tomar una decisión que les ha permitido quedarse en el país o definitivamente se van o toman otro rumbo, pero pueden tomar una decisión informada, que es más importante.
I'm Rachel Lee. I'm a psychologist, and I've been working with VIA since the beginning, even before VIA. Yeah.
My name is Tilla Alexander, and I'm an ESL teacher. I retired. What motivated me to teach the VIA class on Saturday was, number one, New Yorker had asked me if I knew any teachers who could teach a class in English, and I was retired, and I thought about it, and I said, I'd like to do that. Maybe I could do that.
My name is Jim Niss. I was a lawyer until I retired. And when I retired, I decided to volunteer teaching English to immigrants. I'd had no connection with Venezuela at all before Norca and Hector asked me to start teaching these classes. So when I started teaching at home for Venezuelans, the sociology of my students changed completely. Now my Venezuelan students, probably half of them are physicians and medical doctors, an amazing number, and the others are other professionals, accountants, lawyers, so forth. In New York, that's what they were in Venezuela. In New York, many of them struggled to make a living. They used to be in restaurants before COVID.
I told you it was much better to hear from people. As you can see, nobody who has been in touch with the work VIA does can speak about it in any way that's different than with awe and admiration and happiness, because it's truly an amazing work. But now, as I warned you, we will talk numbers for a second, since understanding and describing this population, this community that VIA serves, is a key element of the discussion we want to have today. So Niurka, if you could please share, thank you so much, the presentation with us. I can go through it with you. So the numbers that we're going to share come from VIA's first semester report for this year, which will be available to you as early as tomorrow, I think. We will send it as a follow-up of this conversation that we're having. But we're going to go through some of the most impacting maybe numbers that we have in this presentation. The first is this. So during last year, from the population, from the community that VIA assisted, around 35% of newcomers, new arrivals, had crossed the US southern border as their port of entry into the United States. Whereas in the first quarter of 2022, over 90% of the people VIA assisted had come through the southern border. You have probably seen it in the news recently, these buses that are being brought up here from, I'm in New York as well, from Texas. And this is but a fraction of the migrant, refugee, and asylum seeker population that is currently reaching the city. This first difference, it's striking, it's significant, and it speaks to a more important difference, which you will see in a few seconds. Can we see the next one, please? Thank you. Oh, well, this essentially is just to say that CPP backs up the numbers that VIA is seeing. This is not just a sample that is the product of VIA assisting a very specific population. This is the general characterization of how the Venezuelan migrant phenomenon is changing. As you can see, in a matter of a year, there was an increase of over 200%, 222% of Venezuelans in border encounters. So this is, just backing up additionally this first data that we provided you with. Can we see the next one, please? So one of the more striking characteristics is that 67% of the population that VIA is assisting are women, and they are getting younger. These women are currently between the ages of 25 and 34, whereas in the past, they used to belong to a different population group between 35 and 45. It also, or this is coherent with the fact that you can see that most of the respondents travel with their spouse and kids. Women usually travel alongside family units, whereas men commonly migrate more so on their own. And if we consider that women have increased vulnerability in migration routes and also increased vulnerability to exploitation and trafficking, understanding that over 60%, 67 to be exact, of the community that VIA has aided are women, really should speak of the vulnerabilities of Venezuelan migrants arriving to New York City right now. Could we see the next one, please? Here we see something that was touched upon on the last, by the last person who spoke in the video that we just saw, which is the level of education of Venezuelan migrants. As you can see, the majority of them have between an associate and a bachelor's degree. There's even a significant percentage, close to 15%, that have a master's degree. And then you have amount of people, which is increasing, by the way, that have a GED or high school diploma, or that were unable to complete their college education before they left the country. So here you can see that 72.5% of the community VIA assists have secondary education, sometimes tertiary education. However, they are underemployed due to, of course, legal constraints. This is a trend that we see across migrants in general. Could we please see the next one? This is an important one that, again, speaks to the vulnerability of Venezuelan migrants, and it talks about their immigration status. So what is their status currently in this country? We can see that the vast majority of them is considering asking for asylum or applying for asylum. Next, we see that some people have asylum pending. Then we see people who already have a case in front of an immigration court, and those who have either applied for and have not received an answer yet, or those that have the TPS, the temporary protection status, process pending, which is to say that over 90% of these people are in need of international protection. That is what we mean when we talk about a TPS, when we talk about asylum. These are people who require international protection. And finally, we're almost close to finally. Can we see the next one, please? Yes. we need to talk about what they need, because this is where we should have conversation. Even though people understand the importance of learning English or bettering their English, finding jobs, finding lawyers, finding healthcare providers, the priority or the amount of people seeking food assistance, clothing assistance, transportation assistance is very, very significant. And this is also something that has varied from the population or the community that VIA originally assisted when it first started, that was more focused on these needs, such as learning English or finding legal assistance, whereas now we're talking food and shelter. These needs are becoming more and more pressing, more and more dire. And could we see the next one, please? While VIA does important, beautiful, praiseworthy work, it is reaching a point in which it needs additional support, and that the care that these migrants, which are increasing in number and in need, has reached a level in which VIA needs to ask itself, how can other organizations aid, collaborate, do their part in assisting this population? Because at this point, the resources and personnel available to VIA, all of whom work in a 100% voluntary basis, are limited and cannot keep up with the demand. So this is the point where we pass over the ball, as we say in Spanish, over to organizations that can collaborate, that can help, and that can provide for these migrants that have increasingly pressing humanitarian needs. So yes, to hear a little bit more from them directly, we are going to see another video, and this time we're not going to talk purpose, we're not going to talk number, we're going to talk people, which is ultimately what we all need to remember that this is all about.
Carlos, introduce tu proyecto.
Muy buenas tardes, compatriotas, amigas. I'm very happy to be a part of this, for all of us to be a part of this. Echoing Cristina's sentiment on numbers and stories being more memorable, we believe it is very important to also present a series of testimonials. After all, data doesn't speak for itself, right? And when data particularly reflects a series of human beings, might as well listen to them. Let us think about history class, for example. It was way easier to remember impactful events than specific dates, right? In any case, in VIA, we want to humanize the numbers of the thousands.
Carlos no se escucha. Disculpa, Carlos, para un momento allí. Ok, listo. Carlos, continúa.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. So here in VIA, we want to make sure that the many Venezuelans that are here are not just a number, but that they receive the proper aid that they need, and that they do so by being heard, by being understood. We want to give a face to the many forced migrants that have ended up here for one reason or another, reasons that we want the world to know. While our actions have been focused in forced Venezuelan migrants having the necessary tools to find a home here in the US, specifically in New York, it is very important for us to, I insist, make sure that we all know why we're here and why we need your help. So I believe that New York has a series of videos, and I hope you find all of this moving and stimulating.
Gracias, Carlos. Yes.
Bueno, el último evento que me convenció fue que el papá de mi hija estábamos en una manifestación y se lo llevaron. O sea, cuando estábamos en ese momento llegaron unos motorizados encapuchados que son los llamados colectivos y se lo llevaron, lo secuestraron, lo golpearon. O sea, él quedó con secuelas de todos esos golpes que le dieron y con secuelas de memoria, que no se acordaba de muchas cosas. Y después de eso empezó una persecución con policía. Y yo trabajé en la fiscalía también, en la fiscalía cuarta del estado Lara. Y estando ahí también me querían obligar a ir a manifestaciones y cosas del gobierno. Y como yo me negué, también me cerraron las puertas de la fiscalía. Y fue una serie de hechos que ya como que no, ya, de aquí no se puede vivir, de aquí no se puede estar, ya es un susto, un miedo. Entonces no, decidimos irnos.
Ya tenía 3 años pensando cómo salir del país.
Mm.
Siempre seguía pensando que iba a amanecer un cambio, que el país iba a avanzar, que podíamos seguir adelante. Pensar en viajar, salir del país, abandonar nuestra tierra, nuestras raíces, nuestra familia, dejarlo todo no es fácil. Pero llega el momento en que la circunstancia, la situación cada día era más difícil.
Bueno, regresar a veces a estos temas siempre es bastante complicado, pero pues digamos que lo último así que yo dije, mira, ya de verdad no me siento seguro en este espacio, en este lugar, es una golpiza que le dieron a mi pareja. Nosotros hacíamos activismo en Venezuela y ya pues algunos meses atrás ya habíamos comenzado a ser víctimas como de amenazas, de que no hiciéramos el trabajo que estábamos haciendo a favor de la comunidad LGBTIQ+. Y pues nada, nosotros como pues tratamos de mantenernos haciendo el trabajo que hacíamos, pero pues se fue intensificando más y luego pues estas amenazas se intensificaron también a su vez y lo último fue pues le dieron a él una golpiza y le dijeron que iban a ir por la persona que se la pasaba con él. Claro, en otros términos, ¿no? Y pues nada, esa persona era yo y eso me hizo como caer mucho en el miedo, el desespero, ¿no? La inseguridad que tenía yo de salir de mi casa, el llegar a la puerta del lugar donde vivía, el pues, estar caminando por la calle y sentir que venían como detrás de mí o que me estaban observando. Esa es una de las experiencias más terribles que he tenido porque es así como que nunca estás como en tranquilidad, siempre sientes ahí una presión y pues, y mira, sabes que no es seguro estar aquí y inicialmente era algo temporal, pero no, o sea, no es una cuestión de que pase así como que, bueno, te amenazó y mañana no, entonces decidimos huir.
Salí del país porque tengo, pues en ese tiempo tenía el bebé muy pequeño, en ese tiempo se enfermaba mucho, o sea, le pegaban unas fiebres altas, sufría también de asma, entonces le pegaban muchas infecciones y siempre le mandaban antibióticos. Me costaba muchísimo conseguirlo, fue tremendo, pues él estuvo en un punto que por una de esas fiebres que casi que se me moría, o sea, casi que me convulsionaba. Tuvo al límite, fui a una farmacia del gobierno que supuestamente ayudaba en emergencia y, o sea, me trataron a las patadas y ese fue como que la bomba que hizo como que me llenara más de rabia, más de impotencia y salí, porque no, o sea, no conseguía solución.
Después de todo eso que vivimos tan feo en Venezuela, llegamos a Medellín y en Medellín, pues ya uno viendo la situación de los países, que es que si Perú, Chile, Ecuador, que no, ya yo no vi más camino, nosotros dijimos, no, vámonos para Estados Unidos. Y empezamos a indagar, a estudiar cómo llegamos a Estados Unidos y en eso conocimos la ruta por el Darién, que es la selva más peligrosa. Creo que nosotros fuimos uno de los primeros venezolanos que llegaron en esa ruta. En el camino nos encontramos cubanos y haitianos, eran los que pasaban por ahí. Y muy poquito, o sea, yo en el camino no conseguí venezolanos. Duramos 5 días y medio en esa selva. Después de ahí uno sale a Panamá. En Panamá te llevan en un autobús hasta David, que es la última ciudad de Panamá. De David pasamos a Paso Canoa, que Paso Canoa es la frontera con Costa Rica. De ahí pasamos caminando a Costa Rica. Costa Rica viajamos a San José, que es la capital de Costa Rica. De San José nos fuimos hasta Nicaragua, ¿verdad? Honduras, después Guatemala y por último México. En ese transcurso de esos países, pues uno llegaba a refugio, ahí duramos 2, 3 días, trabajábamos, hacíamos los pasajes y seguíamos. México es horrible, en México duramos 25 días. 25 días estancados, pasando cosas que tú ni te imaginas. En Puebla, duramos 8 días en Puebla, México, que es un lugar con mucho frío, demasiado frío. Y nos tenían encerrados como en una cancha, y no había baño, no había nada, hasta esperar un aviso humanitario, ¿no? Como 500 inmigrantes. Nosotros tuvimos que hacer huelga de hambre, llamar a los medios, de todo, porque de verdad que en México es la pesadilla. Yo no le deseo eso a nadie. Bueno, después de 25 días nos dieron la visa humanitaria y ese mismo día arrancamos hasta Monterrey, ahí pasamos el río y llegamos.
Bueno, la llegada a Estados Unidos fue, digamos, abrupta, porque fue muy rápido. O sea, no hubo como un tiempo de planificación, hacerse medio escondidos por el mismo tema de que estábamos como buscando. O sea, volamos a Estados Unidos, ya teníamos visa por el trabajo que hacíamos como activismo, ya habíamos ido a este país como por trabajo, cuestión de organizaciones. Todo fue como coordinar que fuese en la madrugada, la salida, que nada, o sea, que no te vean, trata de ser lo más natural, como que vamos y venimos. Salir, la llegada acá pues fue, bueno, enfrentar muchas cosas, el idioma, la nueva cultura, obviamente ya conocíamos Estados Unidos, ya sabemos un poco más o menos cómo era el tema LGBT aquí, y pues eso da posibilidad a conocernos, conocer un poco el entorno y saber que hay ciertos derechos reconocidos, cierta apertura, digamos, desde el punto de vista social, más respeto hacia la comunidad. Entonces, pues de una u otra forma era como que sabemos que allí no es un lugar donde vamos también a exponernos.
En el 2021 estaba en Ecuador.
Ok.
Y Ecuador, ¿sabes? La xenofobia como existía era muy fuerte también. El niño lo tenía estudiando. Un niño pequeño, en ese entonces tenía 4 años. Y la maestra siempre lo saludaba a todos sus compañeros, chévere. Y siempre preguntaba cosas que a él como que lo excluía. Y él en un momento que me dijo, mamá, ¿por qué no dice Andrés? Mamá, ¿no dijo Andrés? Y eso como que, o sea, fue como que otra bomba.
Es fuerte la selva, es fuerte México, es fuerte todos los países. Yo este viaje no se lo recomiendo a ningún familiar mío, a ningún enemigo mío, porque yo digo que esto es un riesgo demasiado grande que nosotros tomamos. Pues yo igual investigué todo, pero ni que tú investigues todo, o sea, hay tantas cosas que uno no sabe sino cuando lo experimenta. Y es muy fuerte, demasiado fuerte, y que agarrarse de Dios porque es un viaje súper peligroso. O sea, no saben a todos los riesgos que tiene latente.
Que quien haya cruzado la frontera y no tenga una transformación humana, o sea, no sé por dónde cruzó, porque son tantas las oraciones y los Padres Nuestros que uno reza desde que sale, y si por yo haber hecho todo eso hubiese perdido a uno de mis hijos en el río, o yo hubiese perdido mi vida y mis hijos hubiesen quedado sin madre, pues eso no lo hubiese sanado, recuperado nunca jamás con las cosas que quizás hubiese podido obtener. Y doy fe de que muchos de nuestros hermanos venezolanos que hoy nos escuchan, Carlos, las historias son trágicas de contar y que nunca más van a poder sanar eso con ninguna otra acción, solo con Dios en nuestros corazones y con la humildad, pero no es fácil que una persona venga por la frontera.
Lo duro, lo difícil de eso fue eso, no hubo un cierre o una planificación. Bueno, nos vamos y a lo mejor nos vemos en un par de años, o a lo mejor en un par de meses, no lo sé, sino que sabíamos que el tema del retorno no es algo como una opción.
Cruzamos 17 países, cruzamos la selva también. Cuando estábamos de Ecuador salimos a Colombia. De Colombia, pues llegamos a Necoclí, ahí lo tuve hospitalizado. El día de su cumpleaños lo hospitalicé y ya no podía como que echar para atrás. O sea, tenía que seguir hacia adelante con él, así que enfermo como lo cargaban. Y el grupo con el que yo iba a cruzar no me iba a esperar.
una playa que se llama Armila, y ahí aparecieron unos ángeles que me mandó Dios, porque ahí de esa playa venía selva, selva para adentro, y uno tenía que pagar una serie de guías, unas canoas, y nosotros no teníamos dinero. Y salieron dos periodistas, que era un holandés y un chileno que trabajan en un periódico holandés. Y ellos nos dijeron que querían hacer un reportaje con nosotros, los migrantes que pasábamos la selva del Darién, que si los queríamos acompañar, haciendo el reportaje poco a poco y que ellos nos pagaban lo que faltaba de ahí en adelante. Y yo digo que se fue, eso fue una salvación, eso fue mi salvación.
Momentos lindos, bueno, nada, el conocer nuevas personas, nuevas culturas, que siempre es maravilloso, el cómo una persona que puede ir al lado de mí es de otro continente y cómo sus culturas influyen en mí de manera positiva, eso es bien interesante. Yo lo diría desde mi individualidad y yo lo que necesitaría es seguridad, sentirme seguro, porque yo puedo tener acceso a muchas cosas, al trabajo, a la alimentación, a los servicios básicos, pero el reconocimiento de mi individualidad como ser humano, como gay, como una persona lesbiana o trans o lo que sea, de que se me reconozca y a su vez me sienta seguro con ese reconocimiento es muy importante. Y esa es una de las cosas que aquí se me ha ofrecido y sentir que con esa seguridad lo demás también vale la pena.
Faltaría sería tener trabajo, pero ya va a llegar ya.
Trabajar es lo primordial.
Con soporte emocional, más que todo informaciones jurídicas, eh, y, y por lo menos con recreacionales, social, y eso pues porque uno hace enlace con las mismas personas de la comunidad de uno. Yo creo que VIA tiene un alcance bien, bien grande en cuanto a informaciones, enlaces, y yo creo que eso sirve de mucho, pues. Todas esas cosas son necesarias para uno cuando llega aquí que está comenzando de cero. Uno no sabe ni por dónde empezar, y cuando los encontré a ustedes, pues se me abrió una ventana de cosas que yo no sabía, y yo agradezco mucho por eso, pues, porque he tenido información valiosa que me ha servido para levantar, para alzar vuelo. Y yo creo que así como a mí, a muchos otras personas que llegaron como yo, les ha servido y les servirá en el transcurso del tiempo.
Bueno, Carlos, darte las gracias a ti, a ese equipo maravilloso, a la señora Niurka, porque de verdad, desde aquel día que asistía a esa reunión tan importante, encuentro de venezolanos para festejar el aniversario, y desde la primera vez que le escribí por Instagram, me respondieron, me dieron respuesta a lo que yo buscaba. Y el equipo de personas que conforman allí la Fundación Vía, pues me escriben cómo estás, cómo te sientes, y todo lo que hemos indagado, pues me lo han ayudado a solucionar. Siento bastante contenta, afortunada con el apoyo de ustedes, con esas personas maravillosas que Dios ha puesto en el camino, esos ángeles.
Ser esa familia que la vida le regala a uno, ¿no? Porque como organización también te ofrecen esa posibilidad de que son personas como uno y que digamos que ese ha sido uno de los principales elementos que VIA ofrece, la sensación familiar y que a su vez te orienta, ¿no? Por dónde vas a ir. Bueno, de VIA, la pronunciación, las clases de pronunciación de inglés con el profesor James, me parece un programa extraordinario. Todos los programas son excelentes, pero bueno, digamos yo ese por el uso que le di, ¿verdad? La experiencia te da la oportunidad de que te comuniques mejor. No necesitas hablar como una persona nativa, pero pues si lo puedes mejorar, nunca está de más.
Pues muchísimo. Te digo que lo primero que me ayudó, o sea, y que le agradezco mucho, fue la ayuda que dieron de las tarjetas, ¿sabes? Cuando
Claro.
uno llega aquí, llega sin ropa, o sea, llegué sin absolutamente nada, llegué en tiempo de frío. La comida que me dieron también, o sea, me solventó en ese momento. Mentalmente, pues, me ayudan mucho, aunque no entro casi en los talleres, pero sí me sirven sí me sirven, o sea, no participo, pero sí los escucho, sí estoy atenta, o sea, sí agarro como que las palabras en el grupo de soporte entre pares, las imágenes que mandan video, o sea, son cosas positivas y a veces me apodero, simplemente así, me apodero de esa imagen, digo, es mía.
Thank you, Carlos. Thank you, everyone. Owen.
Yes, thank you, Carlos. And thank you, Via, as well. Muchas gracias, Via, por tenerme. Okay, well, as you just saw through those testimonials and the day that Cristina presented as well, Via is seeing that their reach and their capacity is being exceeded. Basically, Via needs more support to boost their response to the exacerbation of the migration crisis as we see how the situation continues to develop. Via needs what Via has been able to do is help people access the services provided by the city and other organizations. Via has the capacity and the reach to handle cases with a sense of honor, ethics, and professionalism, and compromise in the day-to-day operations of the organization. But the resources and the personnel that are available are very limited in comparison to the demand. So we recognize that the work done by agencies and institutions, and we have therefore invited them to be here to generate effective solutions together and create long-lasting alliances for the benefit of the Venezuelan migrants seeking asylum in New York and the surrounding area. Oftentimes, these migrants are arriving in highly vulnerable conditions, as we also just saw during the testimonials. So for the reasons above, at VIA, we ask ourselves how we can do more, in what way can your organization collaborate, given that the situation is not limited to Venezuelans, and by our projections, it will only continue to grow. So especially asking the allies that are here today, the other organizations, we want to ask ourselves what we can, as we open up this conversation, we want to ask ourselves what we can do to help with this influx of migrants coming in Venezuela. How can we cultivate this feeling of collaboration? And how can we best put together our resources in order to help try to improve the situation? Thank you.
So Cristina, will you please open the mic so we have tonight with us, and we thank everybody who is with us today here in the Zoom meeting, but especially those who are willing to share with us tonight. So we're gonna open the mic and we're gonna start with Tancilia Oren. So Cristina, if you can open her mic, that would be wonderful to have Tancilia today. Tancilia is the project coordinator for Her Migrant Hub, and is also a consultant for REEF Asylum Support, which is another ally that we have at VIA. So, Christy?
Just as a reminder, we have 3 minutes for each participant.
Oh, so. Thank you, Jessie, thank you.
So you will not let the video on also, because
Christy, if you can.
Yes, we should be able to see you now. Yes, there you are. Hi.
Okay, thank you so much. Hi. Yes, as Nurka presented me, so I've been working with VIA for a long time in cooperating in all my projects, because I work with asylum seekers through different projects, and Her Migrant Hub is the current project with Fordham University, and the social work students and a number of partners. So VIA is our main partner with REEF, Emma's Torch, and Coalición Mexicana. So we work with several organizations. So we create this resource for women specifically, but our database that we have on our website is for everyone. We know that infrastructure for asylum seekers is not so great because the federal government or local government does not invest so much money in creating resources for asylum seekers and TPS holders. So what we are trying to create is a resource, and our students help us to update the list of resources available specifically in New York City for all asylum seekers. So it's focused on women, and we have this website in Spanish. So what I'm sharing is our homepage in Spanish language, and there are links there. When you click on resources, so you can search various resources here in Spanish. So we have this website in English and in Spanish and in Russian and other languages. So this all translated. So all our students help us translate. So I think that this is one of the resources we want to share with everybody. So we want to continue to working with VIA, and we work with people, asylum seekers from many different countries. I also consult with Russo LGBT, and I think with Russian-speaking communities. There are so many asylum seekers coming from Ukraine and Russia right now. I think there are a lot of common challenges, and I'm kind of feel like I'm the link between different communities, and I'm always here to connect and help and build our force together so we can demand more services and to build more infrastructure and to demand more investment in resources for asylum seekers. So Nurka and Hector and Jesse and everyone here always rely on me. I'm always there for you. I mean, I'm here working for asylum seeking communities in New York City, and happy to meet and chat with everyone. Thank you so much.
Oh,
Thank you, Celia.
Okay, thank you, Jesse. Do you want to present or introduce the next person that we have today with us?
Sure. We have now Janira Arias, who is a national campaigns manager in Alliances Americas. So the microphone is yours.
And so is the camera if you want it.
Beautiful. Okay.
Hi. Yes, I was trying to open the camera. Hi there. Hi, everyone. Hi, hermanos, hermanas, Venezolanas, Venezolanos. My name is Jenny Arias. I am the National Campaigns Manager from Alianza Americas. I am from El Salvador and a TPS holder as well from El Salvador since 2001. Can you please, the next slide. So who is Alianza Americas? Alianza Americas is a national network of immigrant-led organizations. We were created in 2004. And the network promotes an agenda of justice, equity, increased quality of life for communities across the Americas. The network went for the name of the Latin American and communities, Caribbean communities, named like for many years until we switched to the name of Alianza Americas in 2015. It's shorter, but our identity keeps the same. Next slide, please. It was hard not to tell that I was very moved by the stories that you just showed in the video. Those are the same reasons that gave shape to Alianza Americas and to many other organizations that are part of Alianza Americas. We are constantly monitoring, documenting, advocating against the militarization, corruption, gender violence, trade agreements that continue to impact our economies, making people more poor and a few more rich, the criminalization of being poor, the deep economic gaps, state violence, and organized crime, but also the climate change and how that has to have a lot with thousands of our sisters and brothers migrating at the very moment. Next slide, please. Some of the things we do in the face of those very difficult challenges, we mobilize for the right to mobility, meaning everyone has the right to migrate if that's a choice. We should be with dignity, with the respect of human rights. We also advocate for new narratives on migration, meaning that we are aware of xenophobia, racism, classism, and many of the things that sees a migrant as a problem, as a criminal, or someone that is not equal as seen in other communities. We also challenge structural inequality, meaning we are aware that corporations and institutions that are making more money and increasing their wealth in the backs of the majority, all of us, basically. So we educate about why people migrate is not necessarily only to one factor, that we need to look into deep roots of inequality as one of the roots. And we believe in building effective and inclusive democracy. Like, for instance, this is a good space and example of democracy. Everything that you have shown is an example of exercising democracy. Next slide, please. How we accomplish this? Educational delegations, meaning we bring people, elected officials, members from Congress. Right now, there is a delegation led by my boss in Guatemala and Honduras. We're bringing elected officials from Massachusetts so they can see what's happening in Guatemala and Honduras. We increase and we support the leadership of our 55 organizational members. We work in coalitions and networks, just like this space. This is an opening door for us to work in collaboration with VIA. And we believe in action-driven diplomacy strategies, meaning as well using our voices to impact policies and policymakers. Next slide, please.
Anita, we are over the time.
Thank you. I thank you for the time. The last slides was just to let you know a little bit more at TPS, and I'll be happy to share this presentation with New York afterwards. Thank you again for the space.
Jessie, can we give her like a 30 more seconds because the TPS is a very important subject that we.
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.
30 seconds. Next slide, please. Next, I'm going to jump that one. TPS, what's the heart of the campaign? The stories, just like what you just did, interviewing several of the people from Venezuela who has been forced to migrate. Those stories are the key, were the key to the birth of the first TPS in the 1990s. That continued to be the backbone and the heart of the campaigns. Those are going to be the tools to shift the narrative, to humanize the faces of the people. And also to make sure that those stories is as well a mean for the people affected by the forced migration to find opportunities for leadership. We seek not only for new TPS designations and extensions of TPS, but longer protections. And those stories are going to be the tools for that road. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Janira. We have had now Isabel Schroeder, which is a senior specialist program development and planning evaluation in Global Talent Bridge World Educational Services. So go ahead.
Isabel, are you there? Oh,
go. We can move ahead with the
Thank you.
next
No,
one.
thank you.
Okay.
I was
Okay.
waiting to be unmuted. I don't know if the video is going to be activated. It's fine either way. Hi, everyone. Yes, ma'am.
I cannot hear you, Christina. I cannot hear Isabel.
If for some reason she jumped to the waiting rooms like she was removed, but she should be back. I just admitted her. She should be back with us in a second. We're going to make her co-host so that she can share her screen.
Okay, good. Isabel, are you there? You are now the co-host.
Hi again. I'm not able to unmute myself or start the video on my own. There we go. Okay, thank you. No, I don't have slides. I'm just going to talk. Isabel Schroeder, I am the program manager for Global Talent Bridge, which is a program of World Education Services. I want to take a second to just say muchas gracias por este evento, Niurka y Vía, y a toda la gente que ha venido hoy a escuchar. Nosotros también estamos acá para escuchar y muchísimas gracias a las personas que han compartido sus historias el día de hoy. I'll continue in English since I'm representing WES. I'll just spend a few seconds telling everybody what WES is. So WES World Education Services is a nonprofit social enterprise that works on helping everybody in trying to help everybody to put their education experience and skills to work anywhere in the world, specifically in the US and in Canada. As I mentioned, Global Talent Bridge is a program of WES, and we focus on working to reduce the barrier and remove the barrier that that don't allow immigrants and refugees who have a degree from abroad, and asylum seekers. And when we say immigrants and refugees, we're trying to include everyone, including asylum seekers, to use their skills and their education, their training from abroad in the US, in the workforce in the US, and in ways that are commensurate with those skills and education. That is what GTB does, and part of the work that we do includes joining with institutional partners, with community organizations like VIA, and with policymakers to achieve this goal. What I'd like for you to walk away with from this conversation with us is that we do have resources, part of the work that we do, and part of the work that my team does, and Raquel Sevilla is also joining us here, our director.
1 minute left.
Thank you. Is that we do create resources and initiatives for immigrants, refugees and asylum seekers. Specifically, I will talk for 2 seconds about the Gateway Program, which is a program that assesses the educational credentials of individuals who have been displaced as a result of adverse circumstances in their countries. Gateway is available to individuals educated in 7 countries. Venezuela is one of those countries. And the goal of having a credential evaluation report is that it can be useful for individuals to continue their education, to become licensed, or to continue their careers in their fields. And so I will share this information with Nurka and a flyer in Spanish too, for her to share with everybody else. And we do have other resources specifically for different occupations and different fields in the US. And then I would just want to shout out to VIA, because we have part of the work that we do is create a hub for immigrant and refugee-led organizations that are working to support the economic inclusion of immigrants, refugees, asylum seekers, and asylees with international credentials. And that hub, VIA is part of that hub. We're happy to have you. And so we're here to listen, and I look forward to the conversation. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Isabel. Now we are going to listen Maria Blake Delaire, Executive Director of REEF Asylum Support. Welcome.
I'm sorry, Jesse, can I have the name again? Because I can't find
Sure.
Is the one
Maria Blake Delaire.
Yes, but she's not under this name.
REEF. She's there
REEF.
as a REEF. REEF Asylum Support.
We're going to make her co-host so we can see her face.
Okay, hola Maria.
Yes. I hope I can show my video now. Hold on a second.
Okay, cool.
Yes, hi everybody. So nice to see you. And listen, rather than spending the time, this precious time on, making the list of all what we do, REEF Asylum Support is a little bit like VIA, but for all asylum seekers. But the thing is, and we focus mostly on affirmative asylum seekers, not those who have crossed the border, meaning that we totally agree with what VIA is saying. There is a huge asylum crisis in the city for affirmative asylum seekers, for the defensive. And so what we wanted to focus is really what solutions we want to take. So I really want to propose that after this meeting, or after this, we create a delegation and go and try to lobby at the mayor's office. Why? Because right now, finally, the city is realizing that there is a crisis of asylum seekers with the people in the but we should turn this situation into an opportunity for us to really advocate and to say that there is really a huge lack of resources for asylum seekers, legal, housing, food, etc., etc. All of you know that, all we know that, and we each, unfortunately, do not have more capacity right now. So we all facing in each of our organization, we feel so bad because unlike VIA, we don't deal too much with those who come from the border, but whenever they came from the border, they need to have a lawyer right away because they have a court date and we have nothing to propose. And it's so sad, all we say is our life is to say, no, I'm sorry, there is no this, there is no this. So, I think we all know that all of us, we try hard, but there is a crisis of capacity and also a necessity for the city to really take more responsibility, not only when there is a crisis, not because the Bishop Dolan today, he said, on the camera with the kids and so on. No, this has been going on for many, many years. And so I'm really, really happy that VIA took this initiative, as always, being at the forefront. And let's work together after and see how we can create. We have working on an advocacy campaign now that, for the backlog. And it's taking some success. So it's teaching us that if we are really, focused and really put a lot of pressure, we can come with some results. So that is my message. And thank you very much to all of you and to these beautiful reports and human testimonies.
Thank you very much, Maria, for that vigorous intervention. Let's gonna listen now, Ella Nimo, which is Director of the Community Programs and Development at Cabrini Immigrant Services of NYC.
Ellen, you should be ready to show your video and unmute yourself.
Yes, I'm here. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me. Like Jesse said, my name is Ella Nimo, and I'm the Director of Community Programs and Development at Cabrini Immigrant Services of New York City. And I've known Yorka and Hector for a long, long time, since VIA was a little baby. So I'm really happy to see how much it's grown and everything you all are doing. So just to give a little information about Cabrini and what we do, we provide a range of direct services to immigrant families. We provide immigration legal services. Right now, we are not doing a lot of asylum because, like many of you, we have pretty limited capacity, and so we have to limit our asylum cases. But we do have free immigration consultations where we provide some legal orientation and assess client needs to see how we can support them. We also have a social services program, so we do case management supporting our community members in accessing any resources or services they might need. We do crisis intervention counseling and have support groups for parents and women. We have a food pantry that has distribution every Saturday morning. And then we have our Justice for Immigrants program, which is the program I primarily work on, which is our kind of advocacy and organizing social justice program. So Maria was speaking my language there. We do a lot of work on various campaigns that are relevant to the immigrant community. We do a lot of community education. We have workshops. We have a membership that meets twice a month. And we've been engaged in various campaigns over the years, and are definitely always open to supporting however we can when it comes to advocating for some solutions to the current crisis.
2 minutes left. 1 minute left. I'm sorry.
All right. So that's kind of a general overview of our services. One thing I do want to mention is we recently moved locations. So we used to be in the Lower East Side, the Chinatown area. Now we're up in Washington Heights at the Mother Cabrini Shrine. So that's a new thing, and you know, hopefully there's some folks in that upper Manhattan neighborhood that we can connect with now that we weren't able to before. But yeah, I mean, we're here, you know, like everyone, have limited capacity, but really open to seeing how we can fill in some gaps for VIA and vice versa, and kind of have our programs work together so we can meet some of the needs that you all are struggling to meet. So glad to be here.
Thank you very much, Ella, because of these words. And as you said, there's a lot to do. Let's gonna receive now Jennifer Rodriguez, who is Queen's Marketing Supervisor, United Healthcare Community Plan. Go ahead, Jennifer.
Jennifer, ¿estás allí? Are you there, Jennifer?
Sí, aquí estoy. Hi, good afternoon or good evening. My name is Jennifer Rodriguez. I'm representing United Healthcare. I've met Niurka and Hector, and we've been working with the Venezuelan community for the health plan. They have, we haven't like in the past, like a couple events. They've been very, very good for the community. And also we're gonna have a next Saturday, another one. They're gonna help with involve people for the health insurance. Also, Hector, they have a couple things they have to do over there in our office in Jackson High. We're here to work with you guys hand to hand, and anything you guys need, we're here to help you.
Gracias,
Oh, by the way, New York and Hector, they have my information and the website too. They can reach me out for anything, any you guys, if you have any question. I know we're short on time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jennifer. You still have 2 minutes, so but we really appreciate your intervention. So
You're welcome.
Thank you. So after this, we probably were moved with the testimonies, and now we have also a better idea about what is the reality with the immigrants here in US, especially here in New York. So we already know there is a lot of things to do. So let's do it. As some of our volunteers and also college students, Owen Anderson and Sarah Lawrence, they said the community is the organization VIA. La comunidad es la organización VIA. So with those words, we want to thank all the organizations, communities, the journalists present in this time for your interest, and also for all the help that you have been dispensing to VIA as an organization. We want to thank also the group of volunteers for their support in making this activity possible, and for all the support during the 6 years of VIA. Thanks so much, everyone, for your presence, your participation, and also, as I said before, for all of the help to make possible this event and this contribution to make these realities. So with this, we want to thank everyone, and let's see. Go ahead, Niurka.
Yes, thank you, Christina. I don't know if you see another hands raised during the conversation, because is there, I mean, if you are willing to remain a little few more minutes, please be my guest. If you want to add anything else, I meant organization, community, journalists that are here with us right now, please be my guest. Just raise your hand and we will open the mic for you. So just be mindful of the time, because we told you that it's going to be for an hour, but it took a little bit more. But please be my guest if you want to share or say anything else. Christina? Mm-hmm.
Wait, I do see a hand. I'm trying to figure among the participants who it belongs to. Give me just a sec. It belongs to Jose. Whoa. My dog wants to talk too. All right. I see it belongs to Jose, and I am giving him mic now.
Tejada tiene la mano levantada.
Sí, le abrí el micrófono.
Buenas tardes. Good afternoon to everyone. Gracias por la oportunidad. Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Jose Tejada. I'm the Executive Director of the Dominican American Society of Queens, and I had the pleasure of meeting Nuka a few weeks ago through United Healthcare. I'm also on the affiliate council board member for United.Us, which is the largest Latino representing organization in the United States. We are heading into 55th years. So I had a pleasure of speaking with Nuka, and a few days ago, I was in a Zoom conference with a representative from United.Us, and we discussed of what we need, data that we need in order for us, to push legislative in different states, to help the Venezuelan community. There are many resources, but something I think that we should do is to unite. The more data that we have, the more, one thing I have learned, throughout being a secretary director for many years is, when you go to meet with an elected official, you have to do the work for them. Just don't go in there and pretty much say, we need this, we need that. You have to provide, like something, to make them get involved and, to make them eager, to help. So I'm here in Queens, Corona, Queens. I'm more than glad, to be of assistance. This is very important. Today's my birthday, and it's my birthday, but this is very important. I like to get involved, and if any way that that you say, Jose, we need to get involved with this, get the media involved, because we have seen like a lot of coverage in regards to Ukraine, but Venezuela, brothers and sisters, we are on the Western Hemisphere, we are so close to Venezuela than Ukraine, so any way that we could help, you could get me involved and I'll be the voice, and also something else is that, since United.Us is a national organization, sometimes we get called where we have Venezuelan in other states, so we are able to refer, those people to, to go to those organizations and probably get some assistance, so they're not alone, it's just a matter of connecting and, guiding them. So that's my 2 cents, and I need to leave to enjoy my birthday.
Thank you so much. Jesse, Cristina, do you see another hand, sir?
Yeah, yes, George's hand.
Okay, cool.
Let's unmute him, and happy birthday, Jose.
George.
Hey, hi. I was trying to turn on my video, but it says I cannot start the video. Okay, I know I have.
I took care of that. You should be able to start it now.
Okay. Yes, my name is George. I actually work with the Black Institute. The Black Institute is an action think tank that does racial justice, environmental justice, and leadership justice. This is generally we've been working for approximately 10 years in New York on various topics, and also doing political incidents for the lobbying of them passing several bills for racial justice and also for immigrants. The one that we recently worked on was on the OCOV, our city, our vote. That's a legislation that provides immigrants that possess green card, TPS, and DACA holders to vote in upcoming election. And we're working on that. We're working on making pledges for immigrants that has green card, DACA, and TPS to vote in upcoming election. Why? Because all of us know the power that voting has in this city. And we need to find a way to reach out to all those immigrants that at some point had the status, had the uncertainty that a lot of immigrants have today, and they simply forget about everything that they went through to be a citizen or a green card holder in the city. That is one. El otro, yo soy nicaragüense. Yo soy nicaragüense. Cuando escuché las experiencias que estaban diciendo de la gente de Venezuela que tuvo para llegar a los Estados Unidos, actualmente los nicaragüenses estamos bajo el mismo proceso de emigración. Acá en Nueva York tenemos algo que se trabaja. Esto ya es algo a título personal, como de institución, como nicaragüenses. Luego que les expliqué el trabajo que hace The Black Institute, se llama Mesa de Trabajo Nueva York, Nueva Jersey. Y hacemos mucho trabajo político de incidencia para mantener el tema de Nicaragua en la agenda nacional e internacional. Y vamos a estar presentes dentro de los foros permanentes de la Asamblea General de las Naciones Unidas que se va a dar en septiembre. ¿Por qué estoy mencionando esto? Porque yo estoy seguro que las personas que están aquí presentes de Venezuela, de las organizaciones, de los otros países, con nosotros los nicaragüenses que estamos acá en Nueva York, todavía podemos hacer trabajo de coordinación y trabajo de incidencia, porque yo sé que ustedes tienen muchas experiencias acumuladas, también tenemos nosotros experiencias acumuladas, tenemos algunos contactos los cuales ustedes también tienen, por lo tanto, es traerlo aquí a este equipo, traerlo aquí a este grupo y posterior a esta primera conversación, seguir participando en sus eventos y también para que ustedes participen en los eventos que nosotros hacemos como nicaragüense acá en los Estados Unidos con respecto a lo que pasa en Nicaragua, emigración, visibilización del régimen y todo el tema. Por lo tanto, no voy a quitar mucho tiempo. Era lo que yo quería traer aquí a este espacio, la cual es mi primera vez participando en este espacio. Agradezco a Niurka Meléndez que me invitó a esta reunión y con ella y con ustedes espero que podamos seguir hablando sobre la legislación over city, over vote. Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias, George. Muchas gracias, George.
Cristina.
Sí, veo otra mano levantada.
Okay.
Veo otra mano levantada por aquí de Edward. Vamos a darle la palabra.
Ya con Edward cerraríamos y ya después cierras tú, Cristina. ¿Les parece, muchachos? Creo que para dejar el tiempo de lo que prometimos a las personas sobre to be mindful of the time that we promise people that we are going to last this with this event. Thank you. Edward and then Cristina.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Edward Padilla. I'm the sales director for MetroPlus Health Plan. I cover the borough of Brooklyn, and I just wanted to share with you that for those of you who don't know, MetroPlus is a city agency. It's a subsidiary of the Health and Hospitals Corporation. All our employees are New York City employees, and we are also here to support and help you. We feel it's important that anyone who's coming into this country and those who are already residents of this country, that they take care of their health. And we want to be able to support you with that. This Sunday, together with the mayor's office, we're hosting a massive resource fair at Lincoln Hospital, which is specifically for the immigrant community with TPS and seeking asylum. So we invite you to go out there and we will have certified application counselors to help you enroll. I know that you're also working with United, but we want you to know that we can also be that partner for you and work together with United to help your community. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Edward, and thank you for the information. If you have any flyer or art or material, please feel free to send that information to our email. So in the follow-up email after this event, we can just share that information to our community. Cristina.
Will do. Thank you.
Thank you, Niurka. Thank you, Edward. Thank you, everyone who participated today. We are extremely happy that most of us could stay this extra few minutes because I think they're really valuable to be able to share these experiences, see how we can help each other out, and more importantly, sort of come out of here with a plan. I think that I heard and felt a lot of support for Maria's proposal. As I was mentioning on the chat, we too are working on an advocacy campaign, and I think that if we can walk out of here with the idea to meet again, specifically to work on this campaign and on this sort of effort to lobby at the mayor's office, to lobby at the state level, to lobby wherever we need to, in order to increase services for Venezuelan migrants and for all asylum seekers, because as we heard from several people who participated, this of course like touches our hearts as Venezuelans, but this is a problem that affects migrants from other places in the world that have stories that are similar to ours, and that we can also aid, like they have sort of aided us, by sharing this information, by sharing these events, and by participating together in an activity such as this. So I would not like to close this without reminding you that you can find all of VIA's information in its website, that's vianyc.org. There you can learn about its programs, about all of the assistance it provides, also about how to help and get in touch with these wonderful leaders. As you can see, you heard from everyone who spoke. Thank you, Niurka. Thank you, Hector, because these are people who really, really work for their community and to sort of create all of these spaces and these alliances that mean that all of us can be here today. So do check out their website and do check out social media to see all of the information that is shared that is of interest here. And also the first semester report will be shared alongside the recording of this session. So if you know anyone who could also be interested in listening to this information and participating, please do pass it out. And let's use that email list to figure out a date that when we're going to meet and put our heads together about this campaign. I really do think that this is a concrete idea that we can come out of this meeting with. Thank you so much for being here. Gracias, Niurka. Gracias, Héctor. Gracias a todas las personas que participaron. Me voy con el corazón contento.
No, yo me voy sumamente orgullosa de verlos a todos ustedes. Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Ella. Those faces who trust us since the beginning, as Rachel said, even before VIA. Thank you for being here with us, Tancilia, everybody else that I might forget names. And I want to tell something that I can say as a summarize after we hear everything that you said and share, is that we cannot take the responsibility that the mayor and the government has to take. We can do as the length of our possibility. And I like the idea of Maria's idea of creating a delegation to go to those places who can just escalate that. I think we do believe at VIA is beyond asking for financial stuff or money, is the capacity, the human capacity. So you know that you count on us here at VIA. You know that people usually goes where there are people too. So please be my guest to reach out to our emails. We are gonna put everything together, including this recording for today's event. Our first half report is going to be also available this week on our website. And please just be aware of our emails, because we will be active and keep in touch through that way. Thank you again, everyone. Jesse, Carlos, Owen, Christina, Wendell, Jonathan, VIA team who is here with us. Well, all the people who were willing to put their faces and humanize the number. Thank you all, because your trust is what keeps us motivated to keep doing this work. Thank you, everyone, and have a good night. Thank you all.